If I'm honest, dating for a wife was very difficult for me. So I want to give you three things I would do if I was a man right now, dating in modern times to be able to find a wife. My name is Dr. Alduan Tartt, clinical psychologist, also a licensed and ordained minister. And I always do videos on like what women need to do to find a husband. But it dawned on me after talking to, I promised, maybe the 15th, 20th man. A lot of these are my friends. Some of these are people who I admire and just have just one off or deep conversations with. And these are men who are single, right? And men who are married, right? And men who've been married, divorced, and now looking for remarriage. And we're all saying the same thing. When they think about it, finding a wife is not as easy as you think. Oh my goodness, right? So I want y'all to like and subscribe, share this video right now because I know you're looking. If you're a woman, you are looking like Alduan. You are lying with all these quality women around here with the ratio of what we're doing. I promise you, you're going to be convinced by the end of this video that it's not so easy. All right. So just really quickly, I'm gonna be honest. Ooh, this gonna be. I know this is gonna be on the internet, but I've told this story before, and it's real, man. Because I want to come right to you, right, and just full confessional mode. I told God. I had the gall to say, God, I need help for a lot of things, but finding a wife is not one of them. Right now, I wasn't like arguing with God. When I was praying, God was speaking to me. I said, "No, I'm good. I feel confident in this." That's where it came off, right? And the more I dated, the more lost I got in looking for a wife. I'm gonna talk about some of the mistakes I made. I'm gonna give you the three, right? And what I did to actually attract a wife, because you can attract a girlfriend, you can attract a lot of eye candy, you can attract a lot of amazing people if you just be honest about it. But finding a wife, shouldn't it actually be difficult? Now that I think about it, right? If we're talking about he who finds a wife finds a good thing and gains favor in the Lord, like that should be somewhat difficult, right? And it seemed like the more I dated, the more and more lost I actually got, right? I took a break. I took a break, right? And then I prayed, and God said, I will send her to you. And I said, okay, but I'm gonna be honest, right? I think I went three or four or five women after uh, having that conversation with God, and then finally I was humbled. All right. So let me just tell you the three things that I would do. Right. Think things I would do and how I found my wife, and it's going to be revealed in here that I would do if I was a man. And ladies, please tune in, get your popcorn ready to share this video because it's going to help you as well. All right, one, we have to go to where high quality marriage minded women already are. And I know you've heard this advice when it comes to finding a husband, but we have to shift from environments that like have like high vibe to high character. Right. So I used to go to clubs. Right? I used to go to the club with my brother, and I used to look around like, okay, do I see her? Do I see her? Okay, I like her, but she's talking to that guy. And I would look over and say, do I see her? Do I see her? And I used to go sometimes two to three different clubs in a night. That's my personality, looking for my wife. Now, why did I do that? I was young. I had met a lot of quality girlfriends in clubs. Think about college. Think about graduate school. Think about when I used to live in LA. Oh, Lord. Ooh, anyway, I'm not going to go backwards, right? So I met a lot of high quality people in clubs, but I also approach differently. Now, I've never been a dog. I've never been someone to say I'm leaving with someone tonight, right? But I did leave with phone numbers. I did leave with connections, right, and I have had my moments that I've had to repent for. I'm like, I'm gonna be honest, right? But I've pretty much always had a girlfriend or a steady person who I was dating. So the first thing I would do is I'd look for like church small groups, ministry teams, prayer teams, young adult Bible studies. I know y'all like, what happened? I don't know a single man in my circle who did not require his wife to be godly. Now, men want versatility, kind of want the sexy librarian. Men want the woman. Think about it, this is going to be his wife, his mom and dad's daughter-in-law, right? The family. This is stock. I'm talking about like genes, like you got to raise children together. right? Let's just be real about it, right? So most men I know want a woman of faith, and I'm not disrespecting you if that's not your current orientation. I'm just keeping it real, all right? So one, you're looking for a woman that's like in service organizations, right? You're looking for a woman that might be mentoring. You might looking for a woman who is a teacher. You might looking for a social work. You might looking for a woman who is an attorney, but she volunteers her time at the local high school or college, right? And helping other young women. Are y'all getting it? Right? If you're looking for a Proverbs 31 woman, that has to be in motion, not in theory, right? So look for professional associations, conferences, alumni events. This woman is probably a helper because what you want is people to say, your wife is so amazing. And they're talking about her character. Not only is she beautiful, she is amazing, right? She might be in some type of entrepreneurial incubator or investing or some type of fitness club. Wouldn't that be great, right? Like she's in she works out on a regular basis with girlfriends. She's in run and walk clubs. She's might be hiking, dancing. Ladies, am I right? Like you have to look for a woman with a life who's doing things, who's already light. She's already salt and light to the earth. Because think about the places where your wife would go as you marry her. She's still going to be mentoring. She's still going to be a big sister for the big brother, big sister organization. She's still going to be leading a small group at church. She's going to be volunteering to feed the homeless. She's going to be head of the alumni association. She's going to be in leadership Atlantis, where I'm based. Or she's going to be in something that is engaging. She's going to be helping out because someone asked her. She's going to be planning the fan reunion. Are y'all getting it? Right? Look for a woman that's in cooking classes, a woman that's in book clubs, a woman in language classes or creative workshops. So she's an author. Right now, I know y'all talking about more of my style, but I'm talking about a woman of character, of substance, right? Look for her doing those things, all right? And what I want you to do is I want you to show up regularly, right? Not randomly, right? Because if you're part of these groups, you should be observing her. You should be watching her. She should be sensing that this might be my Boaz, right? Because you're coming in. And then you want to be warm and intentional. You want to introduce yourself. You don't want to come in like player from the Himalayas. She's looking for that because she's been taught to screen as well, right? It says in Proverbs 18:22, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and gains favor from the Lord. All right. Proverbs 13:20, walk with the wise and become wise. Are y'all feeling me? All right. So stop hunting for a wife in places that contradict your faith. And I'm not a judgmental person. You can literally meet your wife in a club. You can meet your wife in a bar. It happens all the time. That does not mean that they're not godly. Godly people go to the bar and go to the club. Let's keep it real. Even I don't drink, right? Anymore. Right? I'm just simply saying, just in theory, look for your wife in places that tend to draw high character because you want to be able to look and see, ooh, that sister that's leading that prayer is anointed. Or, I like the way she's running this. She's vice president of the Black MBA, or she's president of National Sales Network, right? Which my wife was, right? So I'm watching, like, man, I like the way she leads. I like the way she moves. That'd be good for my kids. I like her. My mom would like her. You feel me? All right, number two. All right, you have to become a high quality marriage godly man first, right? Because you can want a high quality woman, but she's also looking for, are you husband quality, right? Your character, like, are you honest? Are you faithful? Do you have integrity? Are you kind? Do you keep your word? Can women set their watch to you? If you say, hey, I'm going to be there, are you going to be there, right? It says in Proverbs 20, verse 7, the righteous man walks in integrity. His children are blessed after him. So you have to have, I'm going to be honest, man, you have to have, like, your money has to be right. We're talking about getting married, right? We have to be able to provide, at least to our level. I know a lot of people do 50-50, but a lot of men I know want to be that superhero. If you need it, I'm going to be able to get it for you. Now, if you're working, gainfully employed, which most couples are, if we're keeping it real, if we come off of TV and social media, they're dual income households, especially if you're talking about making some money in this economy. Do your thing, but I want to make sure that I'm able to provide so that you can be secure and know that I'm able to handle what I say I'm going to handle. So if you're not at that point, the majority of our focus, men, I believe, should be on connecting, on networking, on building up what you're doing, writing that book, moving up at work, politicking, networking, working on your business plan and your strategy. Now, you don't need to be perfect because that's what a wife is going to do. A girlfriend's going to take it to the next level, that Obama effect, right? And then we look at where Michelle took him, right? And that's what a wife do, make you better, gain favor in the Lord, right? So make sure you have like First Timothy 5:8 in your spirit, willingness to provide and protect, right? And then you have to have that maturity. Can you apologize? Can you repent? Can you change? Can you make a mistake and say, all right, I need to go to counseling. Let me get myself together. I need to restrict where I go, or I need to be open and honest. Can you handle conflict without withdrawing? Can you pray and seek counsel? Can she see you going to God when you're stressed, right? You don't have to have it all figured out, right? But you should be clearly moving in the direction of God and have godly brothers and sisters around you supporting you. Matthew 6:33 says, seek the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you, right? Because then this signals that you're serious, right? So in conversation, you're like, at this stage, I'm not looking to kick it. I'm not looking to see where it goes. I'm looking for someone to be married to. I'm looking for my wife. Now, I'm not pressed, but if I meet my wife right now, I am trying to take her all the way to the altar, right? And go through all the phases, right? So you have to make sure that your social media looks the part. You can't like all these photos of these video vixens. You can do what you want. Just don't like it, right? You can look, right? But also don't even put that in your spirit, especially if you know that's the gateway for you, right? Your profile, your demeanor. You can't be at dinner with her and then looking around at the waitress, right? Or looking at other people, or when you're out and her friends are scoping you, and they do, you are so lustful towards other women. You have to be able to be in a space, and we appreciate beautiful women, especially black women, right? And I'm just saying that 'cause I'm a black man married to a black woman from Inglewood by way of South Central California, right? Because we don't hear the beauty standard for black women raised up, right? But you have to be stable, you have to be real, and you have to be about the married life, and be ready, right? And just be ready to be that guy who's not a disappointment in marriage, right? So husband loves your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself for her. That's Ephesians 5:25, right? 5:22, 23 of Galatians, right? But the fruit of the spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Do you have those things? Psalm 133:1. Behold, how good and pleasant it is when brothers dwell in unity, right? Can you be around strong brothers who are like, yeah, no, I'm trying to do the right thing, man. I'm trying to have a strong, stable family, right? And so for me, I had to really, really do a deep dive. Am I ready to be faithful? Am I ready to be consistent? Am I ready to have self control? Am I ready to hold my tongue when I'm upset? And have I dealt with previous trauma? And I came out of a relationship that was trash, right? I mean, it ended in trash, y'all. So y'all think I had a perfect life. I did not, right? And so I had to do a lot of rebuilding, and a lot of picking better, right? And having a higher standard for myself. And that's no disrespect. That just means that I was non-negotiable on if you're an arguer, you're not going to be with me. Come on, man. If you argue and you have a contempt in your face, and you're not someone who has self-discipline to control it, can control your mouth and tongue, and you tear down your man, I've been there, done that. I'm not trying to do that ever again in my life, right? So that was a non-negotiable. I needed someone who was strong, right? But also gentle in how they approach and how they resolve conflict. And then number three, date with discernment, screen for values, not just vibes, right? You're looking for her, right? Is she accountable? Does she have a great relationship with God? Does she have constant drama in her life? Is she able to settle her family? And I'm not saying we should judge someone for their family, but is she able to separate from her family's dysfunction, right? I'm not saying not help out, but a lot of men, we understand we're coming into these roles, especially as African Americans or African diaspora, that you have to deal with dysfunctions of our families. But are you able to separate to where it does not hurt us? Right, where your cousins are not living with us every day, right? Look for a personal walk with God. Like, what's her character like? How does she treat other people? I like I like I like women who have a lot of girlfriends, right? Are solid. They might have a solid core set of smaller girlfriends, but To me, a caution flag is a woman who does not have a lot of girlfriends, because where are you getting attention from? Who are you pouring into? And what does that mean? And then when we get married, are you going to be dependent upon me to be your friend for life? Right? I want to be your friend, but I want you to have other friends, right? You get what I'm saying? If I go out, I want you to be able to work the room too. And you go out with your friends, I go with my friends, and we have some diversity, right? How does she treat you? How does she treat people she works with? How does she treat the waitress? How does she treat her family? Is she in contact with her mom or dad? Or if it's toxic, have an appropriate boundary, right? How does she treat people who can't do anything for her? Is she snotty? Is she entitled? Is she looking for a Barbie to her Ken? Right? You see what I'm saying? Is she looking for a Ken to her Barbie? Or is she looking for a real man? Right? It says in Proverbs 31:26, she opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. Y'all, is she stable? Is she working? Is she committed? Does she have stable community and friends and relationship with God? Does she tithe? Does she has no pattern of burning bridges and blaming everyone else? Does she want to build a life together? Is she a good parent? Does she read? Right? Is she opening? Did you get the kids to school on time? You feel what I'm saying? Right? Like, what does she look for? Does she have good boundaries with her ex? Is she really ready to move on? Is she an emotional provider? If I'm going to be a provider financially and emotionally, can she provide emotionally and even financially? Can she budget? Can she build? Can we sit up here and talk entrepreneurially? Can we talk about 5X and 10Xing our income versus buying the latest Louis Vuitton boots all the time? And I'm cool with go ahead, look nice. I get it, fellas. You want your woman. She represents you. Get the nice things, look good, have the jewelry. But can she also tighten up when we're going all in on our business, or when we're focusing on making sure our kids get the best education, or if we're going on this trip? All right. And we say we want to travel. Can we tighten up and adjust? Can she be versatile? Can she build to tomorrow? Can she stop right now to be able to build legacy versus trying to keep up with the Joneses? Right? Does she have gratitude or a sense of entitlement? And then last thing, y'all, does she have peace? Is she your peace? Is she your peace? Ask God, Lord, show me what I need to see. Give me wisdom and protect me from counterfeits. That's James 1:5, right? Pay attention to red flag. Don't override God's warnings, y'all, right? You need to be equally yoked with your wife. 2 Corinthians 6:14. Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. Proverbs 4:23. Y'all could tell that I prepared for this, y'all, right? So are y'all getting it? In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. That's in Proverbs 3:6. All right. So I hope y'all got this, right? So treat dating like a spirit-led data collection, not fantasy, not vibe. We're not looking for the Instagram models, and no disrespect to you, right? Because I really don't judge, right? But what I'm saying is that have the vibe of your wife. And I'm not saying that your wife can't do that. Right. My wife is a bodybuilder. Right. And my wife is in pageants, and my wife is very conservative, but my wife is very California. I get what I'm saying? She's a free spirit. So there's no judgment here. Right. And I'm not judging you. Right. Because you want that versatility. I'm just simply saying, man, these are the three things that I want you to focus on. I really want you to have a spirit led journey. I had to pray. God had to bring her to me. I had to see these things. Right. I had to approach. I had to be different to attract different. I was approaching women who needed help. I was approaching women who were takers because I'm such a healer or a helper. And then I had to change my mindset. Let me attract another healer, another helper, another person who is a community person. That's exactly who my wife is. She has her own tribe. All right. So, man, I hope that helps. Ladies, I hope that helps. So, because this is a God journey, we can make it superficial, right? Or we can really believe that the Creator did create someone specifically for us. All right. And so I want y'all to be able to glean into this. Give me your comments. Let me know what resonated. Let me know what I left off. Right. And if you want to go live with me and talk about this, I am doing a podcast coming up very soon, or a live show. And I'd like to be able to really go in to make you all the stars and really interview you, whether you're married or single, what you're going through. But be righteous. I'm not having any clowns on the show. We have enough of that in society. So I love y'all. I can't wait for you to find your Ruth Boazes, and Boazes, I can't wait for you to find your Ruth. All right, God bless.